Jared, I want to thank you for joining us on this call today. At InventorySync under Hefner Consulting, we do the best that we can to always bring innovative solutions, as well as solutions that not only are innovative, but are very cost friendly. So that's kind of the main goal behind this, is to give you everything you can possibly get, while also at the same time making sure that it meets all of your needs. A little bit of a background on InventorySync is we had one of our companies, BAM Coatings, come to us and say, hey, could you build us an inventory solution that doesn't cost us an arm and a leg? We did exactly that. And then we partnered with Pentech because they loved it as well. So if we can kind of go around the circle of people that are on this call, just so we all understand who each other are, and then we'll get into the actual application and take a look at that. Jared, you want to kick us off?
Sure. I'm Jared Beach with Pentech Industrial Coatings. I'm a regional manager for them. I currently cover North Dakota, South Dakota, Wisconsin, Missouri, Iowa, Nebraska, Kansas, Washington, Oregon, 2 spots in California, 2 dealers in North Carolina, and 1 in South Carolina.
Good Lord.
And I work directly with our dealers.
Awesome. Chu, can you say something about yourself?
Yeah, so I'm the director of the application and also the lead developer.
Awesome. Georgi?
Yep, my name is Georgi Gilovani, and I'm a fairly recent addition to the company. Started in December, and I'm Director of Sales and Business Development based in Houston, Texas.
Awesome.
Nice and warm.
All right. Yeah, I wish it was warm up here. It's nice 14 degrees right now, so kind of jealous, Georgi.
Yeah.
It's 60 here, so it's not that warm.
Oh, horrible. All right, so let's get into the application itself. So all the information about what we do and what we've built can be found at hefnersync.com. Right off the main homepage, you can click on InventorySync. The application itself has picked up quite a bit of steam over the past few months, and we've actually built it out to 3 different industries now. Some of the industries are Pentech companies, and then other ones that, Pentech dealers are also running other types of operations like wall coverings, or they're doing remodeling as well. So we built it to where, really depending on what industry you're in, you'll have something that works exactly the way you want it to be. So underneath the floor coating side, we can see all the information on here, and then we're going to get into the latest feature that we've just released, which is Job Builder, which has been highly requested and highly customized over the past, I think we've been working on it for about 5 months now. So it's got quite a bit of tricks that we're hoping that everybody loves. All right, so getting into the actual application itself, when you open it up, you're going to see something that looks like this. Now, every single company that works with us, they have their own environment. They pretty much go to it, has their own login information, and all of their users get access to that. And then from inside of that, we have the capability to where you can have unlimited users. So that's something that's very big that most companies in this industry do not let you have. They always charge you per user. We just flat rate. If you use our software on the lowest term subscription plan, you get the capability to have unlimited users. And on top of that, you get every single feature that we release. There's no nickel and diming you through the process. Base gets you everything. So that's what we like. The system's going to check everything, just make sure it has access to all the internal systems. And then from there, I'm going to use my admin login information. The system itself has 5 different permission policy structures. So you can have it to where when you get into the inventory coding system that your installers, they can only see the check-in, check-out stuff and the job builder information. You can have your team leads have access to a little bit more for the inventory management as well, so that they can modify records in case someone makes a mistake or an error. You have your warehouse team members. Those ones can go in there and actually add new types of things to the warehouse, check in inventory, those kinds of things. Then from there, you have your office workers. They're going to be able to see your inventory transactions, see what everybody's doing in the system, how they're utilizing it. They're going to be able to create new pick sheets and jobs. And then from there, you have your admins, and they're able to change everything in the system. They're able to see all of your reporting and your structures. And like I said, you can have as many users as you want. So whether your organization's, 2 or 60, it's not going to change how you utilize the system or the cost you have to. So that's a big piece that we like to share people. All right. So looking at the system itself, what we're going to do is start off in the admin center. Now, the admin center is broken into 4 separate sections right now. 2 of them are under preferences, and then there's the 2 main sections. So we have our user ID management. Inside of here, we have everybody inside of the company. We have their specific roles. If they have a lower level in the job role, one of these would be clicked, but currently right now, everybody's an admin because it's a demo environment. So everybody in here wants to show all the goods, right? Then from there, we have off to the left-hand side kind of a shortcut menu to where when you get familiar with the system, you don't have to go back a screen just to go forward into something else. You can just kind of click around. So what we'll do is go back one, and then in job ID, currently we don't have any. We just reset the environment for this release so that we could show you some new information. So creating a job ID in this environment is it's very one level to it. So what we'll normally see is dealers, when they get into the system, they'll have, somebody in the warehouse, they'll be moving stuff into product. They might be taking it out and moving it to a new location in their state. So there's like warehouse work that needs to get done. So what we'll do is we'll create one job ID that's just labeled as warehouse work. You can have it as being either standard or repair work as well, which is helpful. And then you have job status, which is new, in progress, and complete. Okay. And then all of that information is able to be changed and updated as you need. Now, if we go into the preferences section, there's two different tabs in here. So the system is built in a way to make it to where you can have bulk ID tracking. So you can track everything on, say, one shelf that's the same thing. And you can just track the weight of it. And then you have unique tracking, which is tracking everything down to the specific bucket. And those kind of explanations are listed in here. You have to, select the unique ID or bulk ID, and it's used for your entire team. So once it's selected, everybody's going to be doing it the same.
Okay.
And then we get into the pick sheet. So we're really excited to feature this with our new release. So the pick sheet piece right here of the application really ties everything that we've built together over the past months that we've been working on this. The capability that you have in here, just to do a quick overview, is you have the capability to where you can customize your spread rates. You can customize your weights of each of your different products, because we know everything, weighs differently. You can customize the multipliers on this. You can do square footage. You can do linear. You can have a base value that would be for like epoxies or something that doesn't have flakes. You can also have the flake ratios as well built into here for spread rates. That way you don't have to use multiple different systems. You can just click a box and it'll automatically change your spread rates depending on the size. You also have the capability to where you get all of your calculations, floors, verticals, stairs. Stairs themselves is actually a custom field. You can say that for anything. So if you do a lot of pools and decks, you can put pools and decks in here and then put in the base values for that. So that every time you do a pick sheet, if it's a garage and a pool and a deck, you have it all on one pick sheet ready to go.
Okay.
You can pick your decimal places. And there's just a lot of features built into this that I think dealers are really going to like. All right. So the base values themselves, what we're going to do is just kind of load up the ones that Pentec says that we should be using. So I believe this one is 400.
Yep.
And we got 280, 1/4, and then 200 for this one. And then for our spread rate, we have, I think most companies say around 300 is what they actually get with that. Because we're going to act like it's an epoxy, we're just going to put down 100 for it. Okay. I'm sure it's more than that, but we're just going to put that so you can see the values change as we mess with the calculations. So one box of, sorry, that was 100, but then one box of flake is usually around 40, I believe, for Pentec, 40 pounds.
Yeah, it's 40. Yeah.
And then for base A and base B, based off of our calculations, averaging them out, I think we came out with, was it 270? Shoot.
Yep, it is 270 for both base A and base B.
And then we went with 10.44 for the pounds. And top A, that was 150, right?
Yeah, for both top A and top B, and the weight was 10.
And this was 270 for the spread rate for moisture barrier.
Yeah.
We were actually having
10.44 for the weight for moisture barrier.
10.44 as well. Yeah, we were actually having a conversation with Yuri. Who were we talking with? Chris with the cap coatings, was it?
Chris Spafford.
Yeah, so we were talking with him, and we didn't have moisture barrier built into the system. In about a day, we were notified and we built it into the system before the release. So it just kind of shows the speed that we can turn these things around when dealers want something. So and then Gator, what was Gator?
150 it is.
150 as well. So this gives us the capability, as we've shown. You now have the capability where you have your new rates, you have your weights, you have your multipliers. We're going to put in 8,000 square feet. Say it's a bigger job, and then from here we'll hit save. So the system is going to take the default values that we just put in, and it's going to say, okay, so your current spread rates are these all the way across the board. And then from there, if I put in 8,000 for this job, and I want to look at the example, I'm going to be able to see the current amount of what it is. And then if I change these and I say, okay, it's actually 200 that we're going to change this to, then it'll automatically give me the new values of what it would be so I can compare all of them. And then if I like it, I can hit the save button again, and then it updates all of those values. So it gives you this kind of capability to play with the system. If I want to know what it's going to be for, flake, I can select that, or change it through, and we can see those values change in real time.
Well, the good thing with that being with it being variable, so you can put values in there, because some dealers get more coverage than other dealers do, and they have some like it thicker than other dealers do. So you got that where at least they can kind of fine tune it to their company itself.
Exactly, and that was kind of our goal, is that we wanted to make it to where the system itself, no matter what you're doing with it, if it's a part of the calculation that Pentech is saying you should use, you should be able to custom, right? Because you're going to find the sweet secret sauce for your business and your area. And we want this system to just mesh with what you're already doing. So, and then those multipliers give you the capability to where if maybe your team, they go out with a little bit more every time, you can put a 1.25 on there. And then it'll change the weight that you're taking out with you so that you're more secure.
Okay.
So with that information being saved, what we're going to do is go back to the home screen, and then we're going to kick off the process as if we were going to really set up one of these jobs. So in whatever CRM system you have, we have the capability to where we can integrate into that system. So if you're using Builder Prime or whatever it is, we can pull those job numbers down and put them into here. You just have to let us know, and we'll set up that integration for you. So you create a new pick sheet. The process of creating one is pretty simple. It's going to be very standard to what you would do if you were writing it down on paper. It's just this way that anybody on the team can do it. You don't have to read handwriting, any of that other stuff. You just know exactly what you're supposed to do. So what we're going to do is we're going to pick a location. So pick Milwaukee, let's say, and then we're going to pick a job ID. So very similar to the other field we did in the admin center, but now there's a lot more layers to it. So let's just do 789. And then from there, like I said, you have standard or new job in progress complete. So we're going to hit that. And then we're going to say it's another 8,000 square foot job. We're going to set the flake size to 1/4. And then from here, we have the capability to where in the inventory management section, you actually put in what you have in inventory, what types of products you use, what supplies you have, what types of epoxies or flakes you're using. So we're actually able to click on this and say, okay, so this one's going to be a scarlet. And then from there, you have the capability where you can select all of your individual chemicals that you're going to be using for each of the different categories through the whole system. So by the time I know that's not the right one, but for
I'm
not
like,
my
I
category. I don't
definitely
really
have
remember
vendor
all the.
base A.
Would that be 270 XP? That is?
XP 275, yeah. And it'd be right there.
There we go. And then we
and
got
then
our
B is the same.
275B. Get that in there. So you go through the process, you select what you need. Now your verticals, obviously they're going to be different calculations. So let's say that it's 200 square feet for your verticals. And now you have all your calculations. Now, if it's the same exact thing as it was for the floor, then it automatically copies over. If it's something different, maybe they want a different color around their verticals. You can definitely select that as well, change it up. And then if it's a different type of chemical you use, you can go that route as well. From there, stairs, same thing. So let's say it's 500 for the stairs, and then you get your calculations and you can change them up however you want. Maybe they want their stairs to be something. Now, one of the big things that we've had conversations with dealers about is they said, our guys can't figure out the calculations, right? The conversions, it's annoying, right? Make it easier for us. So what we did is we built in cheat sheets at the bottom. So we have all of your gallons for your floor vertical stairs. And then from there, you have all of your ounces for them as well. Most of these are going to come in gallon barrels, so that's not really a thing, but that gator bite, shark bite, that's a big piece to this. In the future, we're going to be adding tints, and then also we're going to be adding, there's another one that we are going to be adding as well to really make it to where the entire conversion sheet for Pentech is listed inside of this system.
Okay.
All right, so we're going to hit save on that. So that's 789 for that job. Now, if I go to current pick sheets, I now have 789 and I have all the associated information getting locked in. And then from there, I can hit generate pick sheet, and that'll generate a PDF, and I can print that out, put it out on the warehouse, and somebody can grab that the next day and be ready to go and do the job. All right. So to do that job itself, right? So the next step in the process would be, do you have any questions about that before I continue?
No, not at all.
All right. Awesome. So the next step of the process would be the inventory check and check out, right? So when we originally built the system, I think there was like 10 clicks you had to do. Very quickly working with the dealers, they were like, get rid of that, right? So we've made it just about as fast as we possibly can. So let's just grab this barcode right here. The barcodes can be really whatever you want them to be. So if we search this, it's going to pull up that barcode, and it's showing 2 because there's 1 in that one as well. So we'll click this, hit edit, and then from there, all you got to do is just select check in, check out. So we'll do check out. There's 5,500 pounds in here. So we'll say we're going to take, 800 pounds for that. And then from there, we see that decrease. If it is a service call, different type of job pick sheet, but if it is a service call, you can click that as well. And that would be under the repair status for that type of a job. And then you select your job that you have. It's automatically polling the user. So all the users will have their own logins. It'll automatically say who's doing what inside of the system. And then from there, you hit save. And now you have a record of what's happening, right? So you'd have somebody go grab that PDF of the job. They'd then go to the system. We usually have a barcode binder we'll build out for our clients. And then that'll give them the capability to really, they just got to look at the pick sheet, scan the barcodes, and then from there, just check out the weights that they need to. We are planning to build a feature that you can press a button at one time and it'll pull everything out of the system that's on the pick sheet. So that is a feature that we will allow people to use and customize out themselves. But the end goal right now is you scan it, you pull everything that you need out of it, and then you go to the job site. Now, if you're running multiple jobs a day, you can check everything back in. The system is built to be used on a tablet, so you can just use the camera to scan things back into the system. And then from there, you're able to see everything that happened, right? So we know that, Phoenix was the location, the barcode was done for here, and then we have the product, we have that job it was assigned to, we have the user that did it, we have the checkout weight, and we have the time, right? So from there, we're able to keep track of everything that's happened. And then on that specific job itself, we're also able to keep track of everything that happened too. So what we're seeing here is you build a pick sheet and you know what you're supposed to bring with. And then you take it out into the field, you do the job, you bring it back, you check it in, and then you're able to get your exact numbers of how much you used, how much you were supposed to use, all that stuff's there so you can figure out what your over under is. We have plans to build stuff into the system for tracking, your labor costs as well. That way you can figure out, if I had 1 lead on this job and 2 other helpers on the job, this is how much my labor costs, this is how much my actual materials cost. And the end goal here is to have it to where you come here and you click this screen and there's a nice report that just says everything you need to know. But we just need more people using that job builder for the next couple months for us to figure out exactly what's going to look the best for dealers and give you the most information.
So is it going to do job costing for you then?
That's the goal. Yeah.
Okay.
And it's going to be based off of what Pentech says or other dealers as they're working with the system and saying, hey, I want it to do this. I want it to look like this. And if it's, 4 or 5 different types of views, and it's because other companies like specific views and other ones don't, we'll build those in there. It won't be just like one thing everybody has to use. We'll build different types of views, different types of layouts based off what works best for you.
That's awesome to hear.
Yeah, it is really one of those things that,
pretty unique.
Yeah, Hefner Corp, when we built this and, we started, having Hefner Consulting start building it out, and then we took it over in InventorySync and we just kind of started running with this. The number one thing we got from dealers was very similar to what they said in that introduction call with Pentech in the very beginning, was that good luck going to Builder Prime and saying, I'd like you to change the reports for me, or I'd like you to integrate this feature in. And then within a month, them doing it for you. It's not going to happen, right? Like you're stuck with whatever they give you and you're going to be happy with it. With us, you let us know, we'll build it, integrate it into the system, get it doing what you want it to do. And it won't change it for everybody else because we'll allow those features to stay in. That way you can, select the things you want.
That's great to hear because, trying to get something new put in, act of Congress.
Yeah, we don't want
it's really bad.
Yeah, we want you to like our services, and then hopefully you look at the other things we do and you say, well, they're really good in our software. It'd be really great if maybe they managed our IT or something like that. And we just want to be your technology partner. So that's kind of what we're doing, is trying to make it as easy on you. So you focus on what you love, we'll focus on what we love, and everybody's happy at the end of it.
Awesome.
Inside of the inventory report system. So in inventory reports, we have it currently set up to where when you click on this, you're able to see all of the products that you have in your flakes, your epoxies, your chemicals, your supplies, if you're using that feature. And then from there, you can also select your different locations, see what you have in each spot. That way you know where everything's at. Now, there was a conversation we had with Chris at Cap Coatings, and he said, hey, wouldn't it be great if you had it to where inside of these reports, you also had it to where you knew exactly what you would need based off of what's in your current pick sheets. And we're like, that's a great idea. So we thought about it, talked to our developers, and they're going to be releasing that out soon as well. So probably in the next month or so, we're going to have it to where you have a blue line in here in each of the graphs that show you exactly how much your pick sheets are saying you're going to need. So you can visually just in one look know this is how much I have. The blue line says this is how much I'll need. And then we'll build also some filtering capability in there. That way you can say, okay, what am I going to need in January if you're in December, right? So all those extra features and stuff. Because now that we have Job Builder done, now we have kind of the whole house built. Now we're going to start updating the kitchen, right? We're going to start tearing stuff out, fixing new things, making stuff better. And that's what we're really excited for over the 2026 season.
I am very excited to hear that you're doing that, because I can't tell you how many times we get calls on a Friday afternoon. Oh no, I don't have XYZ. Can you have it here by Monday? And usually the answer is no, but if you do want it, it's going to cost you more than the product costs to get it there to you overnighted to Monday. So we have guys that are very, 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 very good at installation and customer service, but not so good at inventory management and not good at projecting what inventory they need.
Yeah, and that is a hard one. So that was actually one of the main things that Jake, when we were showing him the system the first time, and he was like, I love this. He's like, it's cost effective. It's got what we need. And then one of his things that he said, he's like, what happens if they get low on product? And I was like, we could easily build something that would give us the capability to where, they get down to say 20% of what they say is a normal number for them to hold. And if they get below it, it notifies. Or we could integrate it with the Pentech system to where maybe it does an auto purchase. That might be a good way to do it as well. So there are definitely things that we're working with Pentech on that we're going to integrate into this to where we're connected to the Pentech systems. Systems can get, products can get automatically purchased for you or structured out like that or notified. We're going to build a lot of features into this over the next coming months. And we're really excited to see what we're able to integrate and take off the weight of dealers so they can just focus on getting the job done.
Fantastic.
All right. So we've pretty much walked through the whole system. There is some features and stuff that we didn't really touch. The inventory management side, we didn't really get into. So this is how you would go through the process of managing your inventory. So for instance, if you go into colors and finishes, you have the capability to where you can add new product, categorize that product, and then also at the same time put in a price for it. Everything inside of the system is completely exportable to Excel. So that's a big piece to all of this, right? We want to make sure that while we're using it, you can also get your prices. And that will be another thing that comes in a little bit later this year when we start adding in things like price calculations and exactly how much money you made on this project, taking into account your labor costs and everything else. And then in the inventory record section, this is where you would manage all of your individual records for all of your products. And also be able to see all the past jobs and user information that these products were assigned to. So it gives whoever your warehouse manager is really solid access into what's happening. The biggest one we see on a regular basis is a dealer will reach out and say, I'm really confused. One of my guys took some stuff into the field. I have no idea where it went. They can't find the barcodes for it. And we're just kind of lost. Or they spilled some type of chemical on a barcode and we can't figure out what it was. And that gives us the capability where we can come in here and actually search by user and we can see exactly what they did. And then from there, we can figure out what, isn't accounted. And that also is very helpful for skimmers, right? If you have that issue in your business, we can track everything that's happening. So you're going to know if there's product missing or if it's going somewhere it shouldn't go. And you're going to be able to verify that and have those conversations.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I had a dealer that happened to, and it was a significant amount of money that happened over a year and a half.
Yeah.
And I was like, you got to learn how to manage your inventory and keep track of it.
Yeah. And it's difficult to do when you're trying to do it from an Excel sheet. Like we've had customers that said, yeah, we do it all from an Excel sheet. We figured it out. We got it done. But the question is, you figured it out, right? You got it done. You figured out how to use the Excel sheet. That doesn't mean that everybody on your team, and when you expand into multiple locations, they're going to know how to use your Excel sheet, right? It might be that they need something more standardized so everybody can grow together instead of one person having the keys to the kingdom and know how to use it, and everybody else
Right.
just being like, let me send you messages and you update it. Like, we want to make it easier for dealers. We want you to take a vacation, right?
Yeah.
Let the system do its job. All right. So is there any other questions you got for us, Jared?
So as far as inventory management, is this set up so that you can do your full inventories, like whether you're cycle counting or whether you're doing an annual count?
Yes. So like I said, everything inside of the system is completely exportable. So if you
Okay.
need to do like kind of an audit on everything that's there, instead of
Yeah.
kind of carrying a laptop around and checking all the numbers, there's two ways you can do it. You can go to inventory records and you can just download the Excel of everything that you have, the weights, the contact information, everything's inside of there. Let me show you what that actually looks like.
It was a pop-up. If you can unblock the pop-up, it will be good.
Oh, let me do that again. Okay, so inside of here we have the capability to see the barcodes. We'll have their item status, locations, chemicals, flake colors, supplies, weights for everything or quantities of what we have, times that they were created, prices for everything. So everything's able to be pulled out of the system. So you could just take a paper, walk around and confirm all the numbers. Or else what you could do is just go to the inventory reports. And then from there, you can just check, right? If you weigh everything and you're just going off of weight and you don't want to track everything individually, what you can do is just, put it down on the weigh. And if you have 2,978 pounds, you got all your product, right?
Okay.
If you have 2,000, we're going to have to
You got
track
a
some
problem.
stuff down. That's when we got a problem. So, and I think with really any system, like in a scenario where you are missing 700 pounds, the system is built to where you put it on a scale and you track what's being used. But if you have a scenario where you have people that you can't trust if they're going to put their foot down on the scale too and say they're checking out more or less, that we can't really track with this system. That it's just not
right.
I don't think there's any system you could really build that would be able to track that. It's just a camera watching the screen, I think, is the main thing you want to do in that scenario. But for the most part, if you're doing any types of inventory checks or anything like that, the system is built for this.
Okay. Well, and as a backup, a second course too, I think we're working internally on doing a report that'll run ratios for us so that we can see if they're buying stuff out of ratio. And then say, hey, you've got an issue that we're seeing that's been trending. You might want to look into this because you're buying too much B for the part A's that you have. So
yeah, and I think that like the reports that you guys build when you do come out with those, if you reach out to us, we'll put them right in the application. And then from there, everybody that's using it can see that information. And then from there, it's just easier for everybody to gain access to it. But really anything Pentech wants, we put into it. You just let us know and we'll get it done.
okay.
All right.
Really,
Awesome.
really nice. Sounds good. I appreciate your time.
Awesome. Have a great day.
Thank you.